everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jennifer. Welcome. I'm glad you joined me today. I don't know if you noticed, I changed things up a little bit on the channel. Fred here was always a part of my Instagram handle at one time, and over the weekend I decided to change things up a little bit. So you will notice here on YouTube and also over on my Instagram, I have changed both the names to the Curly Stitcher. So, Curly. So I hope you guys are excited about the change. I think I am. Fred will always be a part of my life. He's just not really, he was always meant to be the face for my social media because I didn't want my face on my social media, but now that I'm doing the YouTube thing, I thought it was probably a good chance to kind of change things up to reflect me more. So I'm glad you're here, as well as May. You can hear her down there in the background. She'll probably settle down here in a couple of minutes. So this is the episode number 8 here on the channel. This is a knitting one, so if you're here for cross stitch content, I'm sorry you're not going to get any in this episode. Well, you're not going to get anything major in this episode. But you're welcome to stick around and see what I've been knitting on. But primarily this channel, I kind of divided up my two primary crafts, knitting and cross stitch, or knitting and crocheting, you know, yarn type stuff in one kind of combined episode, and then I alternate between that and then my cross stitch is kind of my other major focus. Interspersed in there may be sewing or quilting or embroidery or you know, other things that I've worked on, so I'll try to just kind of intermingle those in with the episode I think they most fit. But other than that, welcome to my little part of the world. I'm glad you've stuck around. So let me get started with basically all of my finished objects. Here's one here in the background right here. This is, last time I had shown you most of this shawl. This is the Asymmetrical FLOTUS, F-L-O-T-U-S, as in First Lady of the United States. This is designed by Sheen & Squire Designs. And they are doing a spring knit-along cowl for this pattern that's basically running from the spring equinox until the summer solstice. And as you can see, I got done with it before June. So, and I really, really love this pattern. It's a very, very easy knit because it's basically all stockinette with a little bit of an eyelet garter or eyelet stripe in between each color, and then this is supposed to be truly just eyelet garter, but I accidentally did some stockinette in here on this garter, this fourth, I think it's like the fourth garter row. So I just kind of made it a design element. So I've got a stockinette stripe in there about every 4. So I got finished with my first one, and it is absolutely lovely, and it's done with fingering, and the design is calls for basically a 6-color mini set, which Sheen & Squire is part of the Knitted Wit company group. So Knitted Wit had several or some mini sock skein sets, and then you added a main color on as your stripe, and then your main color for your eyelet garter section. So yeah, so I absolutely love this. Each one of these sections do not use up an entire mini skein if you're doing like the 50-gram minis. So, and actually, especially on this end, like as you go along, you end up using a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And I actually changed this up because I think after the 3rd color, you're supposed to reduce the number of rows, and I think that was an attempt to keep you from running out of your mini. especially if you're using a smaller, maybe like a 40 gram or something like that. But I actually kept the number of rows, so my stripes looked consistently the same width, or the same height. But I never ran out. And so yeah, so this is absolutely a great pattern, and I will show you a little bit later. I actually started on a second one, hopefully to also be done before June, because this was a really quick knit. So I haven't done a knitting episode in about a month, and prior to that, this was like I said, a spring equinox start, and I don't think I really did start it till probably like the end of March, but I had all of this done. So in my April episode, I had kind of mentioned that because all I had was like this first kind of row of the main color, and that's all I had left to do, that I was kind of going to stretch this out. But this went super quick. So, and I was just always looking for an opportunity to work on it, just because it was a super relaxing knit. It was very repetitive. There wasn't a lot of memorization, obviously. I mean, it was just a straight up, knit for most of it. And so, in thinking about it some more, I realized that I wouldn't mind doing a second one before the summer solstice. So I'll show you here in a little while. I've started on a second one already. But I did get this one finished like just this past weekend. Today is April the 16th, so like a week ago. So like, the 9th or so was when I actually finished this. But I absolutely love it, and because it's fingering weight, it's very lightweight. And the colors I chose, I hoped would be very neutral, that would look good, like, this blue would look good with jeans, or could be paired with any solid color, gray or tan or anything like that, and it would go really well. And it's lightweight enough that you could wear it through the spring and maybe even the summer on a cooler evening. Yeah, so absolutely love it. And the other thing was, this was an I-cord bind off, and this was the first time I attempted that, and I absolutely love, you're not going to be able to see the detail, but I absolutely love how it looks. It just looks very finished. Sometimes I feel like with bind offs, I get very, my tension gets very tight, so it starts to look kind of not real, it doesn't look as even as the rest of the stitches do. So yeah, so I was really, really pleased to get to try this, and this may be something that I actually bind off more projects with more often. Just because now that I know how to do it and how easy it was, it gives me an option for something when I don't have a pattern that requires a specific bind off. Okay, so the second finished object I actually have today was made with the leftover yarn, which I mentioned in a previous episode, but I suppose I can mention again. The colorway of the 6 mini skein set was Forbidden Fiber Company. It is their Discovery of Witches mini skein set. There's 2 versions, and I bought both, but this was the Absence color scheme, which is Witchwind, Time Spinner, Witchwater, Oxford, Ashmole 782, and Septour. So if you're familiar with the show, you'll kind of understand where those terms come from. But I think I also mentioned in my last knitting episode that I was trying to decide what to do, because I'm starting to realize that, especially with fingering weight or sock weight yarn, I end up with leftovers. And I don't mean like, just a little bit that literally you couldn't even sew or, knit anything with. I mean like quite a bit, quite several grams. So in this particular case, because once I got done with that last stripe, the rest of it was all just that main colorway, which was a whole separate skein of yarn, I realized that I needed to find a project in which I hoped I could use up my scrap yarn. Now, way back, I did mention that there is a blanket that I will constantly be knitting on called the Northeasterly Blanket. And I'll put a picture here just to kind of show you mine and maybe the original to give you some idea. And I've decided I'm going to use it as a memory blanket. So all of my scraps of fingering weight yarn, I will definitely, when I know I have just enough left that I could knit maybe 1 or 2 chevrons out of it, that's what I will do in memory of all the projects I've ever done. But even in the case like this shawl, I still had quite a bit of those mini skeins left. So I, again, I think I mentioned in the previous knitting episode, I found a project called the Scrappy Marl hat. And I'm going to put a picture here of the designer and the original pattern picture. So that is exactly the pattern I chose to do. And here's the hat. And it is actually really great. So basically what you're doing is, if you remember the colors from before, you are holding two fingering weight yarns together. So this is the brown and the kind of that tobacco brown, and then the one that has the brown and the blue together, held that together. Then you drop the brown and then you add whatever the next color you're going to marl. So in this case, I went and that, you know, kind of colored and then added this blue to it. Then I dropped that darker blue and stuck with this blue and then added the lighter blue. And then because I ran out, so I don't have any scrap left to show you, dropped the mid-range blue, added basically the lighter blue, and then this marled teal color, and then dropped the lighter blue and added in this teal color to this, so held those together. And then I essentially ran out of those 2 colors. So when I ran out of this one, then I switched over back to the darker brown with this, you know, mint green color. And then when I ran out of the mint green, then I basically started right again where I left off. I kept the brown and then added back in that you know, darker blue with the brown. So until my hat was finished off, and that's my hat. So I'll try it on really quick for you. Just trying to look and see. And I actually, this hat is really, really big. I mean, really big. So surprisingly, I mean, there's a good amount of stretch to it, but it fits really, really well. And of course, you know, I could flip it up or whatever. I mean, it's in the picture, you'll probably see she's actually kind of wearing it like this, which I think is kind of silly. And I'm not I didn't think a pom-pom really was a good idea with this hat. That's what I would do, is I would pull it back, pull it down. But I even had my husband try it on, and I think his head's a bit bigger than mine is, because occasionally I accidentally grab a ball cap of his, because we have some that are similar in color or whatever. We've gone to a national park, and his is one and mine's the other, but they're the same park. But anyways, I had him try it on, and it fit him just fine. Like he said, there wasn't any kind of tightness around the brim or anything like that. So this is actually a really good hat. So I think this is what I'm going to do. Now, I like these colors, so I told him I didn't knit this for him. I mean, he's welcome to wear it if he wants. I don't think he will, but I will keep this hat. I will wear this hat, you know, in the fall or whatever. But there will be times, I think, where I will have colors left over that maybe the marling doesn't look as great, or maybe the colors were something that I made a pattern for somebody, you know, for a gift. So they aren't colors that I would have necessarily worn or chosen. So what I may end up doing is knitting a bunch of these and holding on to them and then donating them to like Warm Up America. This one might have been a good one for like Hat Not Hate, because their charity is really into the blue. I don't know if they would have minded the extra. There's the top if anybody wants to see the decreases on the top. And this is not, that's the other thing. That has not been washed and blocked. Neither has this. I typically, like this one probably needs to be blocked because you can't see the detail of the eyelets. So that would go a long way to making that one look good. But like this one, it's a hat, so it just gets taken on and off all the time. I really don't block hats unless there's color work that I want to even out, or there's a reason, you know, some kind of maybe detailing like lace or eyelet or something that I want it to show up better. But anyway, so this is my hat. But yeah, I'm definitely going to make a bunch of these because basically when I got done with that, the next day I knocked this out, like that day. This was a really, really, really quick hat. So, and I really like I said, I really like these colors, but I really think this is a nice hat when you want to use up leftover. So you saw, and I'll show it one more time, but of the 6 colors, the 6 mini skeins, this is all I've got left. And this may or may not be enough to at least get 1 chevron out of my Northeasterly. But it will be 1 chevron as opposed to trying to figure out how to get multiple, you know, multiple uses out of quite a bit of fingering weight yarn. So that made me really happy that this hat basically was the go-to project for me to use up yarn that I didn't otherwise know what I was going to do with, so to speak. So yeah, so that's my second finished object. Okay, so for my third finished object, and I can't even believe I'm saying that in a month I finished 3 objects, because as you guys, if you guys have been watching for a while, my knitting mojo has not been there. And so that's kind of why I named this episode what I did, that I kind of got my groove back, because I think this next finished object is the thing that it seems like with knitting and with cross stitch too. When you finish an object, you feel so good about accomplishing something, and you love your finish so much that, you know, you finish this thing, that it makes you want to start the next thing. Or it does for me. Some people, I think some people, depending on the project, maybe too. Maybe it's something that's been languishing and you have been so tired of working on it that you're just like, okay, I need a break. And I've had those moments too. But because I think when I finished this object, I was so happy that I had these done. Because this had been a monthly goal for myself, and it took me till basically May to finish my socks, my first pair of socks. And here's the thing, guys, I had a goal of finishing a pair, or doing knitting a pair of socks a month, and it took me 5 months to do these. And I don't know why, because these went super easy. This was a super easy pattern. Actually, that's not true, because I did knit I have a couple of other half pair socks that got knit, or were knit at the beginning of the year, that when I got done with the first sock, I realized there were issues, or I didn't read a pattern right, or the sock didn't turn out, you know, size-wise like I thought, and I kept putting those off. But this is the first completed pair, and this was that Patons sock along that they did. I didn't do it in the 3 weeks in which it was released, but I got them done. So, so this is that Patons Croy, slate jacquard, and then just this charcoal gray color. I can't remember what this is called. If I can find the ball here in a little while, I'll put the, I'll edit in the name of this particular color. But they are done. They are not, exactly matching, but they are really close. I'm actually kind of surprised that they turned out like as close as they did. But yeah, so last time, a month ago, basically, so these are cuff down socks. Last time, this is where I was, right here. On the second sock. I had the first sock finished. I was working on the second sock, and it was just languishing, and I just didn't want to pick it up, and didn't want to pick it up, and didn't want to pick it up. And then finally, I think I just had a stressful day, like work day, and I just wanted something that I didn't have to think about, and this was it. And before I knew it, I was at the heel, and then I had the heel done, and I was already working on the foot. And I think by the end of that week, like I used my my timer, my little timer app that I mentioned before, the multi-timer app, and just broke it out and just basically stitched on it for an hour, stitched on it for an hour, stitched on it for an hour until I was done. And I got it done, and I'm so happy because it just means I finally got a pair of socks finished, and they look so good. I think I did mention before, so these, I think, so everybody that I know, like family and friends wise, they have big feet. So the only sock blockers I think I have are either medium and large or large and extra large. Either way, you see how slouchy these socks are on this sock blocker. These are big socks. I knit what was supposed to be the women's size, like 10 to 12, because I'm like an 11. So of course this is supposed to be able to fit up to a size 12 foot. But these are like almost like slipper socks. They're comfortable, but there's no negative ease in them at all. Like they don't stretch to like fit my foot, but they're very, very comfortable and they're very warm. So yeah, so they're done. So since the last time I saw you, that's everything I got done right there. And that's my little David Rose Schitt's Creek stitch marker progress keeper from my Lady Dye Yarns Schitt's Creek stitch markers. So yeah. But yeah, I can't say enough about this. All these patterns I'll have listed down in the description. This one was knit, so if you're wondering, because I don't know off the top of my head, like needles and stuff that I use, needle size, because they're done. In the description, if I deviated, 99% of the time I do not deviate from what is recommended in the pattern. Just because I seem to always meet gauge, no problem. So if I have deviated in some way, I will put that in the notes below with the pattern. Otherwise, if you don't see that information, just know that I used what the pattern recommended or called for as far as needle size. And like this I did on, it may have mentioned like, not 9-inch circular needles, but something like that, you know, some kind of circular needle for magic loop, but I always do socks on DPNs. And then like the hat and the shawl, I used cable circular needles for those. So those are my 3 finished objects, which is absolutely amazing. Which means we can go on to my work in progress, which happens to be, as I mentioned before, another asymmetrical FLOTUS. And this one I decided I'm using another Forbidden Fiber colorway of mini skeins. This is, and I don't think I've got it in here, but she does Harry Potter color sets, and this is her Birdie Bot's Magic Beans colors. So basically, if you're familiar with Harry Potter at all, the jelly bean, the little beans are like meant to not just be flavored like good. Sometimes you get gross ones. Like I think there's a scene where Harry's in not the hospital, but the medical ward of Hogwarts, and Dumbledore comes in and tries one, and the one I think he gets is like earwax or something really gross. So anyway, but yeah, so the colors I used for this shawl were also Forbidden Fiber, except for the main color, and I'll show you that because I do have that tag here. So okay, so I actually wanted to grab it because I knew it was behind me. So this is Forbidden Fiber Birdie Bot's mini skein set. So the colors are Mushroom, Sugared Violet, Sardine, Grass, Vomit, and Bubblegum. These are all fingering weight. They're 100% superwash merino. 520 yards, I think, is for all 6. So anyway, so I am not quite as far as I was on the other one the last time, but I am to the 4th color. So I'm kind of having to guess because I'm not entirely sure I know what, I mean, some of them are obvious, but some of them not so much. So, I'm going to do some guessing here. I think this is mushroom. I think. I'm pretty sure this is bubblegum. Right? I think the yellow is the vomit, because it kind of has that, you know, speckly, gross, whatever. I'm pretty sure the grass is the green, right? And then there's, that's 4, okay, 5 and 6. So this, I'm going to guess, is sugared violets. And then this one, I'm going to guess, is sardine. They're just not in the order. Well, maybe they are. Yeah, maybe they're in reverse order. Okay. So yeah, so sugared violets, sardine. Grass, vomit, bubblegum, and mushroom. I'll post the picture again here of the original, or the asymmetrical pattern picture. So the reason I chose this was because, if you notice, her pattern was a rainbow colorway, the mini skeins. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. One, because I knew I had this mini skein set and I didn't know what else I was going to do with it, honestly. I mean, I bought it because I love Leanne, I love Forbidden Fiber. I loved her Harry Potter colors and I couldn't help myself, right? And I love these little mini skein sets, but sometimes you just don't know what you're going to do with them. So when this pattern, once I knit this pattern once, I realized this would be perfect for this. Plus, I am hoping this, when I do that second Scrappy Marl hat with what's left, looks really, really cool, like really like multicolored, which will be a really nice hat. But I'm saying all that to say, the other reason why I chose this was because I knew we were leading into June, which is Pride Month. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do, was a Pride project. I've actually got a couple other things I want to do. Cross stitch related for June, for Pride Month. But because this is Harry Potter colors, and because, or you know, a colorway inspired by Harry Potter, and because as much as I love those books and those movies, I think J.K. Rowling is a despicable human being. And I know this is just me personally, but I thought, what better way to combat the hatred and the vile that spews out of that woman's mouth about trans folks, and you know, and all that they have to deal with already. They don't need that witch, you know, saying horrible things about them. What better way to combat that than to use Harry Potter inspired colorway to make something for Pride. So that's my plan. So then the 7th, the main color is very, very faint here. And I didn't know what else. I didn't really have any other Forbidden Fiber that jumped out that looked like a good alternate main color. But this is Woolen Boon. Sorry, I kind of tore the label off. This is called Main Street USA, and it's a fingering sock weight, 100% superwash merino. But it's basically a cream, but if you can see, it's got speckles of green and orange and blue and pink. So to me, when it shows up, when the speckles show up, you can see a little bit of orange right there. It's subtle. So basically this end will be just a cream, you know, a cream color, but with that multicolored speckle in it. So I think it'll look good. So yeah, so I'm really happy. And I just knit on this whenever. I'm not going to try to get this done by the summer solstice. You know, it'll be mid-June. I'll if I'm not done with it, I'll definitely knit on it through June. Hopefully have it done. But I'm sure I'll have it done. Shoot, at the rate I'm going, I may actually have it done for the next episode. But I'm not saying that because I'm not going to tempt myself into setting myself up for for not getting things done, because you never know what happens, you know, in a month. So, but yeah, that's my second shawl so far, and I absolutely love it, and I absolutely love the colors. And when I get done, I am so looking forward to doing another hat to see how that one turns out. And that is truly my only knitting WIP, work in progress. I wanted to start another pair of socks, but I have another set of that Patons Croy in the, I think it's called like Rose, don't get me lying, that my mother gave me. Hi Mom, if you're watching. So I think that's what I'm going to do next, because I bought a really pretty taupe color for the heels, toes, and cuffs that I think I'm going to use with it. Or like a mushroom, not really a taupe, it's more like a mushroom kind of brown color, but you know what I'm getting at. So that's what I think I want to do, but I want to do the same pattern again. But the only thing though is, because these turned out so big and with not any negative ease really for me, I'm going to either try to go down a needle size or two, or see if I can. I thought about knitting the next sock size down. I just don't know how much stretch there will be. So what I may end up doing is just knitting them anyway, the next size down, the ladies large, which, if I had to guess, if 10 through 12 was the extra large, then I had to guess the large is like 7 through 9 maybe. And just kind of see. But I want to make a pair of socks that actually fit better than these do. I will definitely wear these, and they are definitely good for around the house. I just want to see if I can find something, figure out how to make that pattern work for me for the size of socks that I personally want and I want to wear. So. Okay, so lastly, we'll go through the little bit of haul, or things that I purchased for myself in the past month that I think are, that either are or I think are yarn, knitting, crocheting, fill in the blank related. As you know, every Saturday I sometimes get in what is known as the Charmed and Dangerous Etsy brawl. Over her cute little stitch markers, and Noelle is here in Texas. She's out of Austin, I think. Here's her little thank you note that she always puts with her her purchases. She always does a really cute job too. She does these little like jewelry boxes, but she always puts like washi tape. This one's got like little kitty cats with like pastries and stuff on them. So the two I got this time because I couldn't help myself. She just had one yesterday and I missed out, and that's perfectly fine. You know, you can't win them all, but this was actually this might have been Mother's Day weekend or the weekend before when I ordered them, but one of them is this cute little, see if I can get it to focus on this instead of on me. It wants to focus on me and not on the cute little deal. Oh, come on. There we go. It's a little narwhal that's yellow, and she's holding a little heart that says Mom on it, which is totally cute. So sweet. This time I got jump rings. A lot of times I get the little lobster clasp stitch markers, but this time I went with the jump rings. And then I got this adorable little, and she had 4 different ones, but it's a little turtle with a little like dollop of whipped cream and a coffee bean on it. Gosh, I hope that's in focus. There we go. He's just so cute. And she had 4 different turtles. She had like a s'mores. She had this one. I don't know. That camera doesn't know what it wants to do. It's terrible. Anyway. Alright, back on me, because that camera can't handle it. Anyway, so I got these 2 little charms, and they're itty bitty. Now the last couple of hers that I got, one of them's over here, or a couple of them are over here. You know, I use this actual like stitch markers for, you know, stitching and that kind of thing. But sometimes though I use them on my zipper pull, you know, as zipper pulls for my project bags and stuff like that, or I clip them on my bag, you know, my bag that's got my knitting project in it, you know, just as like a charm, as like a decoration or whatever. So so this time, that's why I kind of got the jump rings this time, because I don't ever like think to use them as stitch markers. I think the last one I used as a stitch marker was my waffle back in February, you know, like around Valentine's Day or whatever. So so yeah, so I got jump rings on those because maybe it will entice me or prompt me to want to actually use them as stitch markers instead of just decorating stuff with them. Another one of my favorite companies is the Clever Clove. Goofball camera doesn't want to focus. Focus. There we go. Clever Clove. She's got really cute packaging too. So this is her pin, We Rise by Lifting Others, which is absolutely adorable. A little raccoon, a little squirrel hugging each other. And it's a double pin, which I actually really like because these are kind of heavy. And then this one says Just One More Stitch, which it's cross stitch, but they're in here together, and this may be the only time I remember to show them to you guys. So those are the two I got from her, and her packaging, her cards and stuff. And this is a single pin back, but still, they're really, really good, heavy. I like them a lot. Really cute. So so yeah, every once in a while she comes out with stuff that I just can't help but buy. And these I do always put on like project bags, or I've got my little banner over here with all my pins on it that I absolutely love. But she is very, very, very talented. So I got those. And then finally, let's talk about Leo and Roxy Yarn Company out of Canada. They're kind of my, if you watch my cross stitch episodes, you probably hear more about them over there, because Carrie, one of the two, is Carrie and Jolynn. This is the card I got. I ordered their birthday, the birthday of the anniversary of when Jolynn and Carrie bought the shop, and the Leo and Roxy yarn name, bought the shop, the Little Red Mitten, and the Leo and Roxy started their yarn company, was I think 3 years ago now. So they had talked about on a couple of episodes back on here on YouTube that they were doing a special kind of deal for their 3rd birthday, and part of it was they were doing a limited edition release of a birthday colorway, which I think they've actually done every year now. But part of the surprise, anticipation, or whatever it is they post it on the website in grayscale, so you don't know what the colors are until you get it. And this is the birthday colors, and it's got some really pretty speckling in it, just subtle. There's some more blue right in there. There's some more blue and pink and purple right in there. So, and this is meant to be a sock set, I believe. The colorway is called Weird Dis Mini 3, like a little kid, Dis, D-I-S. It's a sock kit. It's an 80-20 sock, which is 80% merino, 20% nylon. So the main color is the Weird Dis Mini 3. Is 113 grams, 420 yards, and then the smaller, the blue, is called King's Treasure, and it's a 20 gram, 73 yard skein. So, there you are. So, maybe a pair of birthday socks, Leo and Roxy birthday socks, I don't know. But in addition to that, they were doing a couple of other things for their birthday. Kind of, if you ordered all of these things together, you got a discount on top of a discount. If you combine different things. So one of the other things that they had, which I'm going to stand up for just a brief minute, is this t-shirt. Have your cake and knit it too. So it's a caked skein of yarn, which was really cute. So I ordered that. And then they also had, sorry for the crinkle, these little cute little birthday grab bag kits. So inside this is a bunch of fun little cute stuff. One of which is this really nice wooden ruler that's also a needle gauge, which is really nice. This leather Leo and Roxy keychain, really nice. A leather Leo and Roxy tag, like you'd stitch on like a hat or something like that, really nice. A mini skein, and I think these were all different, like what each person got was different, just probably like they just mixed up a bunch. But this is called RAB, so I think that's the colorway. I don't know if that's maybe an acronym for the actual colorway, but it's an 80-20 sock base, and this is 20 grams, 73 yards. And then the other thing, which is really kind of cool, and again, I think they have different colors of these as well. But this is, I don't know what they call them, but I know them as gaiters. They're elastic, but they're meant to basically be like a, like you can wear it as like a bandana or a face covering. I know some people, like especially right now, because it's elastic, will wear it around their face to cover their face. I don't know that this is big enough that this will fit my head that way. But some people, wear them, especially people that have curly hair like I do. I don't know what this is made out of, though. It feels kind of satiny or nylon or something. But some people tie them in a knot and then wear their hair in them, wear them at night. But yeah, I think their intention was it was supposed to be kind of like a bandana or a gaiter that you could wear as kind of a face mask or a bandana or something around your neck. It's just that this is not that stretchy. There's not just a whole lot of elastic there that would barely, I mean the fabric stretches too, don't get me wrong, but so yeah, so it's really, really cute. They had a couple of different ones. They had this black and white one, and then I think the other one was the white background, but it was multicolored. The print was multicolored. So again, these little grab bags, you got what you got. Like you couldn't tell them what you wanted, but if you got the yarn and you got the grab bag, you got like a little bit of a discount. Or if you got the yarn and the shirt, you got a little bit of a discount. But if you got the yarn, the grab bag, and the shirt, you got an extra discount on top of that. So yeah, so it was really kind of a nice little treat, just because one, I don't try not to buy yarn, guys, but occasionally I can't help myself. But two, it was fun just to celebrate with them that they they were celebrating a birthday. And this was, I didn't know what colors I was getting, so it's not like I was buying this based off the color. I truly was buying these things based off of just knowing I was helping them celebrate their 3rd birthday. So anyway, so yeah, but that's it for my haul this month on the yarn / knitting side of things. I mean, next time we talk, it'll be story. So with that, the only plans I have are to work on my 2nd FLOTUS shawl. I may or may not get a 2nd pair of socks started, or I'll tell you what, my plans are to get that FLOTUS shawl finished and get another Scrappy Marl hat made with the leftover yarn. Those would be hopefully my 2 projects for next time. And then if somewhere in there I find that I want to start another pair of socks, then maybe I'll have those to show as well. I'm not setting myself up for any promises, so you get what you get with me. next month, who knows what I would have actually done or started on or finished. So, but yeah, so that is it, guys. I can't think of anything else. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Because I love you, and I hope that sometime in the near future we all get to see each other in person and hug and go to events. And I think things are already starting to, you know, happen event-wise. I mean, I'm starting to get emails again about concerts and stuff, and it makes my anxiety a little crazy. But it is something nice to think about. One of the floss tubes, not knitting, you know, one of the cross-stitch YouTube channels watching today, the girls were so excited because they were going to see a movie. That sounded like something that I could probably break down and maybe do first, just because the movie theater near us, like if you went during the day, during a weekday when it's not really that busy anyway, you kind of have the theater yourself, but then you know you're vaccinated, and then on top of that you could still wear your mask, you know. That kind of sounds like the kind of thing that I could do, and then, you know, sneak in sips of soda and, you know, munch on popcorn. so yeah, that actually kind of sounded like something to do. But other than that, I just want everybody to be happy, be well, be healthy, be safe, and be kind. So, yeah, I hope you are doing well. I hope life is going well for you. I hope that if you are vaccinated, you're starting to get to see family again and friends, and take it one step at a time and get to do the fun things and hang out with the people you love. So, until the next time, keep on knitting, and the next time I see you guys on here, hopefully I'll have all of my Stitch Mayhem projects to show off. So until then, take care. Love you guys. See you later.